David Muir, ABC's World News Tonight, America's most watched newscast. Now streaming same day with all the breaking news of the day on Disney+. Most watched, most trusted. Now on Disney+ every night.
Tonight, several developing stories. A cross-country storm that could impact holiday travel for millions. A new warning as tensions rise between the U.S. and Venezuela, and Ukraine's future teeters on the edge as high-level talks are held. First, that storm that's on the move from the south all the way into the northeast. Heavy rain and flash floods. Our weather team tells us where the storm is heading and when. This comes as we enter what could be the busiest Thanksgiving travel period in 15 years. More than 31 million are expected to fly in the next week. Many Americans are also flocking to supermarkets, the new effort to chop prices down to size. Also tonight, the FAA warns pilots of new threats over Venezuela. Several airlines are now canceling flights as President Trump refuses to rule out a U.S. attack after accusing Venezuela of fueling the drug trade. Ukraine's future is on the line as top-level talks are held in Geneva, but there's growing concern over the 28-point peace plan. Some Republicans say it gives Russia too much. An urgent search tonight for one of the Slender Man attackers after police say she cut off her monitoring bracelet. She was convicted of repeatedly stabbing a classmate more than a decade ago. Yet another twist in the Jeffrey Epstein saga. The Department of Justice is once again asking a federal judge in Florida to unseal grand jury testimony from the initial federal investigation into the notorious sex offender. A December deadline is quickly approaching. A shocking attack. 2 college football players stabbed just before a big game. One teammate now in custody. An update on the players. Profile in Courage. President John F. Kennedy's granddaughter shares her heartbreaking diagnosis with uncommon grace. What she wants everyone to know as she battles an incurable disease. And a record-setting weekend. The astronomical price for a piece of history as Wicked for Good soars at the box office.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us on this Sunday. I'm Lindsay Davis. We begin tonight with a cross-country storm that's threatening to derail Thanksgiving travel plans for millions of Americans. A sign of things to come for parts of Texas, with showers drenching areas along the coast.
Sir, are you okay? No. I'm calling 911, okay?
Roommates rescued this Vietnam vet as his car was floating away in floodwaters in Southern California, and flashes of lightning in southern Arizona as scattered storms batter that region. Tonight, that storm is on the move, threatening parts of the south with heavy rain and flash floods. Let's get right to meteorologist Danny Beckstrom from our New York station, WABC. Hi, Danny. Time this out for us.
We'll start with where those storms are firing up tonight, Lindsay. In Texas, where we're seeing heavy rain bring an elevated flash flood risk tonight into tomorrow morning. As we move into Monday, first thing, DFW, we're watching for potential travel delays, and then that line shifts east into the lower Mississippi Valley. That could bring the potential for some flooding from Austin up through about Greenville as we move into Tuesday. After that, scattered showers are going to impact parts of the southeast. We're also looking at the potential for some large hail, damaging wind gusts, again from Austin up through about Shreveport. After that, Tuesday, scattered showers in parts of the southeast, but that area really loses the severe potential. So our attention turns to then another system that's going to bring snow to Minneapolis as we move into Tuesday. Obviously, Minneapolis, a big travel hub, so watching for potential delays there. Those systems then bring wet weather Wednesday to a lot of the northeast. We're watching from Philly up through Boston, New York City. Seeing some rain on Wednesday could slow travel down, but it's out of here by Thursday. Things quiet down.
Dry for Turkey Day.
Yes.
All right. Thanks so much, Danny. Appreciate it. Despite the weather, the busy holiday travel rush is in full swing. This could be the busiest travel period in 15 years. AAA estimates that about 81 million Americans will take to the skies or hit the roads in order to break bread with friends and family for Thanksgiving. ABC's Alex Presha reports from Washington's DCA airport.
Tonight, as Americans prepare to hit the roads ahead of a week of holiday travel, there's turbulent weather across parts of the South, complicating plans. Heavy rain in Tucson today, drenching roads.
We're excited about the shutdown ending, and so that means travel will be a little bit easier for us.
The FAA says this upcoming week may be the busiest Thanksgiving travel period in 15 years. AAA estimates that 81 million people are traveling for the Thanksgiving holiday.
You see the lines here at DCA are moving pretty steadily, but Airlines for America estimates that more than 31 million passengers will be flying this week.
And the TSA says they're expecting to process north of 3 million passengers at the height of travel next Sunday. Fresh off a government shutdown, which prompted staffing shortages, long screening lines, and flight disruptions, the agency says its officers are ready for the crowds.
They're well trained and they're laser focused on really safely and securely and efficiently getting folks through the checkpoint. And so we're prepared for this Thanksgiving season.
The Trump administration began handing out $10,000 bonus checks to some TSA officers and air traffic controllers. But not everyone will get those checks, only those who had perfect attendance while working without pay during the government shutdown. Officials saying those checks started coming out last weekend.
They're carryover funds, but again, we are focused on rewarding these individuals.
The National Air Traffic Controllers Association says it's concerned that thousands of workers who reported for duty during the shutdown were excluded from the recognition.
And Lindsay, for those headed to the airports, officials are also proposing a new $18 fee for travelers who don't have a real ID or a passport when going through security. Lindsay?
Good to keep that in mind. All right, Alex, thank you. Now to the rising tensions between the U.S. and Venezuela. The FAA is warning airlines about the potential hazards in the skies over Venezuela. Several airlines are now canceling flights to Caracas, and President Trump is not ruling out putting troops on the ground. Here's ABC's senior White House correspondent, Selina Wang.
Tonight, the FAA warning major airlines about a potentially hazardous situation in the skies over Venezuela, citing worsening security and heightened military activity that could threaten aircraft at all altitudes. 6 international carriers now suspending flights to Venezuela's capital, Caracas, as President Trump ramps up military pressure on Venezuela with a massive show of force in the Caribbean Sea. Deploying the USS Gerald Ford, the largest and most lethal carrier in the world. A powerful display aimed at Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro, who the Trump administration claims is responsible for trafficking drugs into the U.S. Maduro has denied any ties to the drug trade. Since September, the U.S. has launched at least 20 strikes on suspected drug boats in the Caribbean Sea, killing more than 80 people, many of them from Venezuela, but the administration offering no public evidence to prove they were actually smuggling drugs, alarming even some Republican lawmakers who say they're left in the dark.
I've been given zero, not one briefing, because I'm skeptical of what they're doing. They don't brief me or the General Senate at all.
President Trump says he's not ruling out putting U.S. troops on the ground in Venezuela.
I don't rule out that. I don't rule out anything. We just have to take care of Venezuela.
And on Friday, Trump said he'll be speaking to Maduro in the not-too-distant future.
I can't tell you what I'm going to tell him, but I have something very specific to say.
And Lindsay, as of tomorrow, Venezuela's President Maduro and his government will be added to the State Department's list of the world's most dangerous terrorist organizations. President Trump claims that gives him the authority to strike inside Venezuela, but many legal experts dispute that. Lindsay?
Selina Wang from the White House for us. Thanks so much. Overseas now to the Ukrainian peace talks in Geneva. Trump administration officials are pushing back against critics who say the 28-point proposal simply fulfills Russia's wish list. Here's ABC's chief foreign correspondent Ian Pannell reporting from Poland.
Tonight, as American and Ukrainian negotiators meet to talk peace, multiple Russian drone strikes on Kharkiv. This video circulating online comes as top Trump administration and Ukrainian officials say they've made productive and meaningful progress towards ending this war.
There's still some work to be done, but we are much further ahead today at this time than we were when we began this morning and where we were a week ago for certain.
The high-stakes meeting hurriedly taking place in Switzerland after the U.S. abruptly pressured Ukraine to accept a 28-point peace plan that would have handed over even more Ukrainian land to the Russians and slashed its military in half. The Trump administration demanding a response before Thanksgiving. That plan sending shockwaves across Ukraine, Europe, and on Capitol Hill.
According to Secretary Rubio, is not the administration's position. It is essentially the wish list of the Russians.
But the State Department flatly denying the plan was a Russian wish list, insisting it was based on input from both sides. Tonight, Rubio saying today's talks with Ukraine had agreed to foundational text for future negotiations with Russia, suggesting the Thanksgiving deadline can now slip. The stakes couldn't be higher. Russia's large-scale invasion began almost 4 years ago. The Kremlin's troops now occupy 1/5 of Ukraine, and they're advancing. Whole towns and cities have been razed to the ground, millions forced from their homes, and hundreds of thousands of soldiers and civilians have been killed. President Trump threatening to stop all support and intelligence sharing unless it signs a deal, according to a Ukrainian official. President Zelensky last Friday saying Ukraine's facing one of the most difficult moments in our history. But late today, Zelensky sounding more positive, saying President Donald Trump is hearing us, calling the talks important.
Lindsay, these are the most substantial talks aimed at ending the war that we've actually seen. And despite originally playing hardball, the US now saying the deadline and the demands can slip a little. The question is whether Russia would accept any of these changes. Lindsay?
Another pivotal moment, Ian, thank you. Now to the urgent search for the Slender Man attacker. Authorities say Morgan Geyser cut off a monitoring bracelet and left a group home in Wisconsin on Saturday. Geyser is one of 2 people involved in stabbing a classmate 19 times to appease the fictional Slender Man character. Let's bring in ABC's Jacqueline Lee. Jacqueline, what are you learning tonight?
Lindsay, the disappearance of Morgan Geyser sparking a manhunt and prompting incredible concern among the public. Police releasing this image of Geyser from security footage, last seen with an adult acquaintance last night, before they say she cut off her ankle bracelet and fled a group home. In 2014, Geyser and her friend Anissa Wire, they were 12 years old at the time when they stabbed a classmate 19 times to please the fictional character Slender Man. She pled guilty to first-degree attempted homicide. Earlier this year, a judge controversially ordered that she could be released from a psychiatric facility. And tonight, the family of stabbing victim Peyton Leitner releasing a statement saying they are safe and working closely with law enforcement. Lindsay.
Jacqueline, thank you. Now to a stunning headline out of the University of Alabama, Birmingham. 2 college football players were stabbed right before Saturday's game. The school now says a teammate is in custody. The latest from ABC's Morgan Norwood.
Tonight, a shocking incident at the University of Alabama, Birmingham. According to UAB, a football player is in custody following the stabbing of 2 other teammates just hours before their game. The attack unfolding at the team's training facility Saturday morning. Though police have not named the suspect, 20-year-old Daniel Mincy, a redshirt freshman and former University of Kentucky student, was booked Saturday at the Jefferson County Jail, facing a charge of attempted murder. The 2 victims, still unnamed, rushed to the hospital. In a statement, UAB saying our thoughts are with them and their families as they recover, adding UAB's top priority remains the safety and well-being of all of our students. And despite the emotional toll, the team taking the field against the University of South Florida, saying it was a decision made to honor their seniors.
Powers his way into the end zone.
I'm really proud of this team. The way they came together and competed today, even with heavy hearts. This allowed our seniors to compete in their last game at Protective. It was definitely a tough day.
And Lindsay, UAB went on to lose their final home game against the University of South Florida. Those 2 injured UAB football players still in stable condition tonight. Lindsay?
Glad to hear that update on their condition. Morgan, thank you. Now to another twist in the Jeffrey Epstein saga. The Department of Justice is asking for grand jury testimony to be unsealed. Let's bring in ABC's Olivia Rubin. Olivia, explain the significance of this request as the DOJ is up against a tight deadline.
Lindsay, tonight the Justice Department is back in federal court in Florida, again asking a judge to unseal grand jury transcripts from the initial federal investigation into Jeffrey Epstein 2 decades ago. But judges in New York and Florida previously denied similar requests earlier this year. One judge even suggesting DOJ was trying to distract from the records it already has in its possession. And while the new law requires DOJ to release all of its unclassified documents and records related to Epstein and his accomplices, it doesn't mention grand jury transcripts specifically. But the Department of Justice is now arguing those are required, and they are asking a judge to rule quickly here, noting their looming December deadline. Lindsay.
The clock clearly ticking, Olivia. Thank you. We turn now to food prices in the U.S. President Trump is making a sharp U-turn and lifting some tariffs on imported food products. It comes as millions of Americans are preparing for one of the biggest feasts of the year, the Thanksgiving Day meal. Here's ABC's Andrew Dimbert.
Tonight, as Americans grapple with steep increases in food prices ahead of the Thanksgiving holiday, President Trump lifting some tariffs in an effort to lower costs, eliminating import taxes on beef, coffee, fruits, and other products. It comes amid escalating pressure on the administration to tackle rising costs for American families. Compared to last year, the national average of a Thanksgiving dinner is down, according to the American Farm Bureau Federation.
We usually make homemade pecan pies, and the prices are just outrageous for pecans, so we're just going to skip that this year.
The American Farm Bureau Federation says a traditional Thanksgiving feast for 10 runs about $55.18 in 2025 versus $58.08 a year ago, a 5% decrease, but many Americans say their grocery bills are still soaring.
I personally can't afford to buy everything for a Thanksgiving dinner.
And while the cost of a turkey is down 16% this year, other items have gone up. A gallon of milk up 16%. Potatoes up 37%, and a 1-pound veggie tray up over 60%. In a Fox News poll, 85% of voters say their grocery prices went up this year, including 60% who say costs increased a lot.
I don't know that I'll spend more, but if I spend the same, I'll get less food for my dollar.
Lindsay, President Trump is lifting tariffs on Brazilian goods, a key supplier of beef and coffee to the United States, and the administration says it's considering more exemptions that could further lower those tariffs, with Thanksgiving just days away. Lindsay?
Andrew, thank you. Still much more ahead on World News Tonight this Sunday, including this ABC News exclusive. The grandparents of the teenager who died on a cruise ship are now speaking out. And multiple injuries reported in an explosion at a senior living facility in Ohio. Next tonight, an ABC News exclusive. The grandparents of Anna Kepner have broken their silence. The 18-year-old's body was found on a cruise ship in the Caribbean. Her grandmother, Barbara Kepner, is sharing what authorities have told her.
The FBI contacted my son and family and told us her cause of death. Her cause of death was asphyxiation. She, what do they call it, a bar hold?
Yes.
Where you take the elbow like this. They said when they took her body to the medical examiner's office, it was in perfect condition.
No arrests have been made, though in a court filing, Anna's stepmother says one of her minor children is a suspect. There will be a lot more with Anna's grandparents tomorrow on Good Morning America. Witnesses say there was pandemonium after an explosion at a senior living apartment house near Youngstown, Ohio. The blast on Saturday blew out windows on multiple floors. Several injuries were reported, most of them minor. The cause is under investigation. When we come back, Wicked for Good casts a spell on the box office and the record-setting auction for a piece of history. To the index now, and a record auction price for a piece of memorabilia from the Titanic. On Saturday, a gold pocket watch sold for $2.3 million. Its owner was Isidore Strauss, a co-owner of Macy's. He was last seen arm in arm with his wife Ida as the cruise ship went down in 1912. And the new Wicked sequel soared to a record opening this weekend. Wicked for Good earned an estimated $150 million in North America alone. That's even more than Part 1 took in last year, and it's the biggest opening ever for a Broadway musical adaptation. When we come back, a president's granddaughter faces a devastating illness with courage and gratitude. Finally, the granddaughter of President John F. Kennedy writes not so much a goodbye, but a thank you. Her words unfold slowly, like a letter written to time itself. I feel so cheated, she writes, and so sad that I don't get to keep living the wonderful life I had with this kind, funny, handsome genius I managed to find. Despite being from one of America's most storied political dynasties, Tatiana Schlossberg has never sought the spotlight. But over the weekend, with a quiet essay published in The New Yorker, she's captured the nation's attention, revealing she's been diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia with a rare mutation, an aggressive, incurable cancer. She writes, "For my whole life, I've tried to be good, to be a good student and a good sister and a good daughter, and to protect my mother and never make her upset or angry. Now I have added a new tragedy to her life, to our family's life, and there's nothing I can do to stop it." While the daughter of Caroline Kennedy and Edwin Schlossberg has been told she may not live to see another winter, her words do not dwell on despair. Instead, they convey something far rarer, an astonishing sense of gratitude. Of her nurses, she writes, "I have never encountered a group of people who are more competent, more full of grace and empathy, more willing to serve others than nurses. Nurses should take over." Those expecting the 35-year-old to chronicle fear may be surprised to find a catalog of the world's small mercies. To her oncologist, she writes, "He has scoured every inch of the earth for more treatments for me. He knows I don't want to die, and he's trying to stop it." The mother of two says of her husband, George, "He slept on the floor of the hospital. He didn't get mad when I was raging on steroids. He would go home to put our kids to bed and come back to bring me dinner." Schlossberg's words portray a life measured not by length, but by light. Good night.
David Muir, the most watched newscast in America. And now, ABC's World News Tonight has won the Emmy for Best Live News Program for the third year in a row.